The Marsh Boys podcast is brought to you by
Papa Earl's, Cajun seasoning at its best. Use it on chicken, beef, fish, vegetables, Bloody Marys, and everything in between. Check out their fish fry for that perfect golden crispiness and that great Cajun flavor.
and Top Down Decoys, the most affordable silhouette decoy on the market. Their horizontal and vertical styles are both a perfect fit for adding numbers to your snow, speck, and Canada spread.
You can check out all of our great sponsors through the link in any of our social media bios. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Hey, take it!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Marsh Boys podcast. I'm Brian.
I made it here on time.
This is episode 100. Today we are joined by the Gator Boys. Now, do you guys go Gator Boys or Gator Boyz Gun Club?
Gator Boys. I mean, our gun club is Gator Boyz Gun Club, but the Instagram page is Gator Boys.
Okay. So the voice you just heard is Jeff Ollet, and Gabe Torres is alongside him.
Hey guys.
You guys aren't going to clam up now, are you?
Nah.
Okay.
Pretend these aren't here.
Alright.
It takes a little bit, though.
It does. Once we get rolling, we'll be good. So you guys ever done anything like this before? Podcast,
Never.
nothing?
No, not at
Not
all.
at all.
All right, well, let's get started. So, Jeff, we went to school together for a little bit.
Yeah.
I never realized you hunted like that. How did you get your start in hunting? Was it something you did?
Everyone in my family hunted, especially deer hunting. Like, I've been bow hunting with a compound since I've been 10 years old. And then started getting the duck hunting about 5 or 6 years ago. I've been out west deer hunting, elk hunting. I love small game hunting, trapping, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You got your trapping license for Jersey? Nice. When'd you get it?
when I was like 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it still the same 2-day class and all that stuff?
Yeah.
That's
It
cool.
was down in Tuckahoe.
That's where
Yeah,
we did
that's
ours.
where we did
in
ours,
that old
yeah.
house and
Yep,
everything.
yep. We just got ours. This was our first, or 2023-24 was our first year trapping.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Loved it.
It's awesome,
Loved it.
isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is.
I
It's
think
like
I only caught 6 coon. Like, to combine, we caught 12 or 13. Or
maybe something like that, yeah.
And it was awesome.
It really is like Christmas morning. You
Yeah.
go out there.
Checking
yeah.
the traps.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Gabe? How'd you get your start in hunting?
My uncle really brought me into it, like when I was really young, and then my grandpa brought me into deer hunting.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle brought me into duck hunting. I duck hunt like usually all the time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a deer hunt kind of gets boring in the deer stand, just sitting there waiting for a deer to come by.
Can't
Yeah,
talk to
so,
anybody.
Yeah, duck hunting you can do whatever you
Can't
want.
cook breakfast.
Yeah.
So, as a bigger deer hunter, I have a question since I'm getting
What's up?
into it. Having your AirPods in, right? Do you do that up in the stand?
It
Don't lie.
depends. I mean, if I'm doing an all day sit, I might have one in, watch like football or something.
Yeah.
But it's so low where, I'm still looking around. I still,
You don't think their ears are good enough to pick that up? Because I notice you can sometimes hear them, really.
not at all.
Because I've been worried about doing that.
And that's
honestly.
that's a common misconception about deer is how good their hearing is.
Mhm.
It's like any other animal or us being in the woods. You hear a stick break, you're going to hear it.
Yeah.
But if you hear me rustle my pants or something, if they're not on alert, they're not going to be looking for it, if that makes sense.
Also, their nose. I shot my first deer literally, like I flicked a cigarette out as he walked into the bait pile.
Yeah.
You're downwind.
No, I wasn't.
Scent is one of those crazy things because like you got old guys. We hunt with got old guys all the time. They smoke in the stand. They don't use scent spray, anything. They don't hunt the right winds, and they kill deer.
Mhm.
But then deer are smart. So
Yes.
have you ever? I'm sure. Yeah, you went back baiting before and you seen a deer and it's just looking at you. It doesn't run, doesn't do anything. They don't sense the threat. I don't know what it is, but when you're hunting, you walk in, you bump a deer blowing out 500 yards away.
I think that has something to do with when you're baiting, you're almost trying. Okay, so in my sense, when I bait, I don't do a lot of like midday baiting. I do a lot of night baiting. So if I'm, like I said, I'm baiting, I'm trying to push deer out. And I've even had it to where my headlight will hit them and nothing. They just stand there. I can get 20 yards to them, they don't move. But when you're hunting, you're not being loud, you're being quiet. I think you kind of surprise them a little more when you walk up.
I think
on them.
I feel like they know the season too.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they get pressure, they're on high alert.
Especially older deer.
Yep.
They know, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, this is kind of unrelated but related, but near my work, the deer come around, right, like they get close to the shop, stuff like that.
Yeah.
When hunting season comes around, they don't get anywhere near us.
Mhm.
I think maybe the weather breaking or something. They somehow know that it's coming.
But it's usually like that first like weather change, like hurricane season. Like it'll break up those bucks bachelor groups,
Yep.
their summer patterns,
Mhm.
cold snap, and if the weather's nice, that first opening weekend of hunting, that'll definitely break the deer.
Yeah. Huh. Do you want to go off of that?
Gabe, so I don't want to ask that, but what's the, have you shot a lot of bucks, a lot of mature bucks, or?
I have a lot of deer under my belt. I probably have over
That's more the question I was
I
asking.
have probably close to 40 or 50 deer under my belt.
That's 10 times more than what I got.
But, I've had tons of opportunities at giant deer and mature deer, but one thing just goes wrong. And I got a couple nice deer under my belt, but nothing too mature. Oldest probably 3 years old.
Okay.
You ever get anything scored?
Yeah, I score most of my deer. Like my biggest one I shot out in Missouri last year. That was a 130.
Nice.
And that was only a 2-year-old deer.
Yeah.
That would have been a big boy.
Yeah, he was almost 200 pounds.
Yeah, that Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska deer is something different.
It's Central Plains whitetail subspecies.
So you said you're more into the waterfowl side of
Hold
things.
on, I was trying to go one thing to another.
I was gonna ask him his thing and then bring them together. But
So
go ahead.
pre-podcast, you mentioned you hunt. Sometimes you hunt you bed hunt.
Yeah.
What conditions are you looking for to where you are perfectly fine with going into that bed or hunting right outside the bed versus staying completely away from it?
So, when you're scouting, when I scout, I look for beds. And then you kind of base your hunt around that. You look for food, you look for transition areas, you look for how the wind's going to blow. But as far as hunting beds, if I'm in an area where I have to hunt a bed, I try not to hunt like early mornings unless it's the rut, just due to the fact that you're gonna blow deer out.
Yeah.
Or if I do hunt beds during the rut, it's kind of like a risk you take. They call it like hunting aggressive. Like
Yes.
sometimes you just got to go in and do it. But if I do hunt a bedded area, if I am hunting in the morning, I'll try to get out like 2.5 hours before daylight. So if I do blow anything out.
So now you say you hunt more afternoons. Are you looking to catch the deer on the way back in, mainly, or is that just?
Yeah, either catch them coming back to the beds or catch them leaving the beds.
Okay, I got you. All right, Ryan, go ahead.
So I wanted to ask. We asked him his count for deer. I'm assuming you can't keep count of the waterfowl you've gotten over time.
That's too many.
Yeah.
Ryan can.
What's your favorite?
too.
Yeah, I can. I saw. Geese, maybe not. But what are your favorite ducks? And did you get any of them mounted or anything like that?
Basically my favorite duck is black duck. I see them all the time. Shoot them all the time.
Absolutely.
And last year I shot a black duck that my taxidermist called leucistic black duck. It had white on its head. That's the one I got mounted.
So like the black line that goes right here.
Nah, it was all black and it had like white spots all over it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
that's cool.
really cool.
You have a
Yeah.
picture of it?
Yeah, I do have a picture of that.
Kind of want to see that.
Way to just break up the conversation.
I'm sorry. I want to say it.
That was at the blind, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We saw leucistic turkeys this year, but they were all hens.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to a guy we had on the podcast priorly, Austin. I messaged him about it, and he said, yeah, they've been watching them for a few years. He said it's only hens. He goes, every year it seems like she'll spit out a leucistic poult, but it's a hen. He said that they think they're the oldest, the primary is like 4 years old.
Yeah, I've seen a couple around my house, but they're like blonde feathers. It's weird.
Oh, okay.
But
These are like
White.
white.
Oh, really?
I have
Yeah.
some pictures of them on the
Yeah.
page.
Oh,
I
we're
see
waiting.
a lot.
Someday
Sorry,
we'll get
I
them
need to
out.
go.
No, you're good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that before. So you guys coastal hunt a lot for ducks, or you keep it down
Nah.
southern zone?
It's around here basically. But
Really?
this year I just got a boat and I will be going down the
What
coast.
kind of boats you
Where?
get?
14-foot low.
Very
Nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Extra deep, extra wide.
Nah, I think it's
Little
just
pond
regular.
hopper?
Yeah.
What kind of motor you got on it?
15 Yamaha,
Okay.
like a 92.
It's nice. Don't sink it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just pick your days.
Yeah.
With my boat, I got a 16-foot extra wide, extra deep. very, very cautious of days I picked down at the shore.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful days down there, though, and you'll see birds flying the whole time.
Yeah, and the last beautiful day we went out, somebody's motor decided to take a shit.
I sunk my boat last year, and it hasn't run right since.
Yeah.
So.
He didn't sink his boat.
The weather sunk my boat. But yeah.
Yeah, we went out. We decided to go out the last day of the year of branch season last year, and we knew with goose season prime with migrators, it was like, it's probably the last time we'll get out duck hunting this year, and it was like 40 degrees.
Wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Not a cloud. A decent amount of wind. Birds were flying everywhere, like hour before sunrise, and we get into the channel and we heard bloop bloop bloop.
Yep.
Yeah, we barely made it back. That sucked. As we were like in the, I was so ready to throw decoys in the channel if it wasn't illegal. I was so mad.
But that was when the dude was running around. Did you see the running and gunning dude last year?
No.
During waterfowl season.
Yeah, there was a guy down where we hunt, and now that I say that, a lot of guys going to the Atlantic City area, running a surface drive motor, running through people's decoys, running gunning birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, running after like cripples and stuff.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, what a guy. So, I know you kind of brought it up before we got in here, but do you want to tell the story of how Gator Boyz got started?
Yeah, so we live in Pittsgrove, Elmer area, so during COVID...
Which, real quick, is really cool. I want to mention that when I open the podcast, but for episode 100, like, you guys are the most local guys we have talked to,
Really?
other than my cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts. But, yeah, so we live in Pittsgrove, Elmer area, and back during COVID, somebody put on this local Facebook group, Pittsgrove Happenings.
Pittsgrove Happenings. Fucking shit.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Somebody put pictures of an alligator in Elmer Lake, and it caused like this big local uproar.
Oh, it was, yeah.
It was, you remember that? It was something. But me and my two closest friends, Austin Springer and Stosh Pokrovsky, made a group chat. We're going to go look for the Elmer Lake alligator, called ourselves the Gator Boyz. And then, we all started hunting together and doing deer drives, and what group of rejects we had became Gator Boyz Gun Club.
Nice.
Now we just started an Instagram page. Like, we're not looking to get like famous or nothing. Just do it for fun.
Oh, absolutely.
You get that. You gonna go buy land and have like a full blown hunting club someday?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
It's like that's our biggest thing with like driving now is like it's hard to get guys because we don't have like a set place. We just kind of meet at everyone's house.
Seems like it's hard to get guys regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not as many people drive anymore.
Yeah,
which,
I'm personally not. I have nothing against it. Nothing at all. just don't drive. That's where my stance is.
I was always against it. Like growing up, like I never drove until I was like 20 years old. I'm 24 now, but I was just like, screw it. Like if you can't beat them, join them. Like literally, because
it's a very, very good way to kill deer.
Yeah,
especially does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Could be scary though.
Yeah, it can
that's
be
why I
scary.
don't drive.
Yeah.
I've heard pellets.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not interested
one problem
in
I don't
that
like.
part, Yeah.
I was one and done with a deer drive. That was it.
Make you pucker up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So you guys are 4 years deep. Gabe, when did you join?
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. When
2
you
or 3
shot
years
that,
ago.
Buck over there on Broughtonville.
Oh yeah. That was my first year with you guys.
Yeah.
That was like the first couple drives I did with you guys.
Yeah.
Beginner's luck.
Yeah. Yeah, just joined right after that.
There
Nice.
you go.
I mean, we were friends. We have like connections with each other.
Okay.
I thought you were about to go somewhere. You were saying something.
So, how do you guys have any private property you guys drive, or is it just a lot of state ground? And
What do you think? I mean, we got
It's mostly state.
mostly state. I mean, we got a couple spots that someone will let us like slip in, do a drive, but nothing serious. We don't do any huge pieces either, and if
Okay.
we do, we break them up throughout like an entire
throughout the
day.
year, yeah. Do you guys happen to see a difference between private and state property?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
It's I don't even know how to put it. Like, there's thick pieces of state where you could drive every single day during like buck week or shotgun and see a deer every single day. But there's just pieces of private you drive and you might see 20, 30 deer.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Now, do you think it's because those private pieces haven't been touched,
Yeah,
It's probably just
especially-
less people
Yeah,
Less
touching it.
pressure.
and these state guys driving it. I mean, especially during buck week, every day.
Yeah.
Some state pieces get hit 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Just pushing these deer all in these little pockets of private.
Yeah, and that's where they go.
Yep. That's where they stay until probably the end of the week, and then they come back. Come back out.
I always used to sit in one spot down the road while they drove. I did it for 2 years, saw a couple does. And then the 3rd year they did it, they had literally pushed all these deer off of one side of the road. I had a trail camera set there all year last year. After December 6th, I didn't have a single picture of a deer.
Yep.
Gray foxes out the ass, but not a single picture.
You know
of
what
deer.
to do.
They're tough to catch.
Yeah. So
Have you ever caught one?
My dad's caught one in a snare.
Yeah.
Because we set snares for coyotes,
Okay.
and he just happened to catch one in it.
How you do with that? With all your trapping, what do you get?
So we don't have much time to trap as much as we'd like. So we just set up a couple snares behind my house, and the past couple of years the coyotes haven't been too bad, but there was a span like maybe 3 or 4 years ago where you just hear them every single day. Trail cam picks every single day, and we ended up catching one that year. It was a huge female. She was 40 pounds.
that's a
Really?
big female.
That
for
is
a
a big
female.
female. You keep the fur?
Yeah.
Nice.
It, Kyle Fisher
Yep.
Yep,
did it.
he's
He's a good
probably
dude.
the number one dude if you want your stuff tanned.
Yeah, and if we catch like coons and stuff like that, we just give them to him.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, we've had on Colby Etherton's been on quite a few times. The coyote man himself.
yeah, I see all the dogs he catches. That is nuts.
Yeah.
He's actually an instructor for the trapping courses
really?
now.
Yeah, he
yeah.
does it.
Yep.
He did ours.
But yeah, we that was another thing with the trapping course. I really, really liked that. That was probably the most in-depth outdoors thing that the state puts on.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It was 2 days, and I mean, we got a lunch break. That was the only time where we weren't talking about trapping.
Yeah.
And everybody had their own niche. It was kind of crazy. It wasn't like when you go get your shotgun or your bow and you go up there, shoot, leave, go get breakfast or whatever.
No, 16
yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
That did suck Sunday, though.
I believe it.
I was hoping we would get something. Like, with all the people that trapped that day, I think, one little girl.
No, it was an older lady because she just didn't show up the second, or she left before the test the second day.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. I know there's probably 50 to 100 people at mine, and one person caught, I think, a possum.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't catch anything.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I thought one person did.
no,
Oh,
we didn't catch anything.
my memory's shot.
Everything's shot.
Yeah, that's fair.
So do you guys do any? I know you said you do. Gabe, you ever done any hunting out of state yet?
Out of the state, I done waterfowl in Maryland
Did you?
for like a sea duck hunt and stuff like that.
Who'd you
Tried
go
to-
with?
My uncle,
Okay.
and we went there. It's Talbot County Outfitters, if you know that or not.
I don't, but
It's like 5 hours away, and we went there.
so you're like down in Maryland.
Yeah, we
Okay.
were on the Chesapeake,
I got you.
and
Haven't done that in a while.
yeah, mainly looking for like canvasback the whole time. But I think we were there for 3 days. The first 2 days, nothing came in except like bufflehead and stuff like that. And the last day, like we went to the morning hunt. We saw redheads. We shot some. They were pretty fast. All of them
Are they?
ducks out there are really fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they come in, they go out. And the last day, we were only doing a morning hunt because that's all we paid for the morning hunt for that
Okay.
last day.
Yeah.
We shot 3 redheads, and then the other guide from the place, I'd say, he called us over and said, "You guys can book for afternoon hunt, and there's always canvasback and redhead out here." So we booked it. We went out there. A lot of canvasback. They just didn't come close enough
No.
where we could shoot them. And that was really it.
Was that layout boat or was it?
No,
just
we were in a some kind of blind out there that they
Okay.
have like stuck out there.
Yeah, I'll show you something.
You have to have all permits out there for all your blinds if you have them out there.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I never posted this.
What are you looking for?
I'm gonna make Gabe kind of upset right now.
Oh, the canvas. Yeah.
If I could have swore I posted a picture.
You should try layout bow hunting down there. It's a little bit sketchy. You're gonna pucker, but they land right on top of you. It's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah.
We actually do that. My cousin's got a layout boat.
Oh,
We
yeah?
go out. He's got like 5 dozen scoter decoys. It's probably the most fun shooting you'll ever do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's.
I'm sure you
amazing.
run through boxes of ammo.
It's bad.
Yeah.
You think you're a bad shot on land? Wait till they put you in a boat that's constantly moving.
Yeah.
We just booked a hunt with Jeff Coates for opening day of sea duck season.
I have another layout hunt boat in Maryland in January, but they weren't really there when
No.
we went last time. No, I mean there was a handful that landed on top of you, like longtails and stuff like
Mhm.
that, but I don't know. They weren't doing it at that time. I feel like they're too pressured out. It was
Yeah.
right across from Annapolis. The most exciting thing that happened that day is we watched a building burn down.
Yeah?
Over in Annapolis. Yeah.
Oh wow.
About 20 miles from the house.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Did you get that mounted?
No,
Dumb.
and I didn't because I texted my cousin and another taxidermist, and I had blown the wing almost completely off.
Ah, that sucks.
And he said, and it's so dumb, but at the time I hated dead mounts.
Uh-huh.
Hated them. I'm so against it. To me, now they look pretty good depending on the bird, but back then it looked so stupid.
Yeah.
That's when they were really getting popular.
Mm.
And he goes, unless you want to dead mount it, I can't do anything with that bird.
Mm.
So I ate it, and it was the best tasting duck I've ever had.
Yeah.
No
Oh
kidding.
yeah, it was so good. And I mean, that's not an uncommon thing to hear either. Like I
Right.
didn't believe it until I ate him, and I was like, okay, like next one's going on the wall, but
Yeah.
the other one's after that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could have done the shotgun shell thing with the head.
that was before I started seeing pictures of that.
Yeah.
You guys
Oh,
seen-
coming out of the wall, just the head and the
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yep.
Just- yeah.
Those are
Pretty
pretty
cool.
cool, especially if you just want something because I think my taxidermist said he charges like $75 for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it at all.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. So, so you said you've waterfowl hunted for a while.
Yeah, probably 6 years or so.
6 years?
On and off.
Now, how much of that is goose hunting versus duck hunting?
Me and my buddy Austin started duck hunting in 2018. But dude, we had no clue whatsoever what we were doing. We were just watching like Bobby Guy films, like just oh yeah, let's go out there, throw
Don't
a
shoot
couple,
over your dog.
yeah, a couple mallards out and see what happens. We were hunting like Elmer Lake and the most popular spots in South Jersey, like trying to kill birds.
Hey, I wasn't different at all.
Oh no, but I didn't start getting into goose hunting, like actually seriously goose hunting until what about like 2 years ago. I started going with you guys.
Yeah.
I bought I probably have 130 decoys now.
You a full body guy, you run a lot of silos. Now, I did see your snow goose. I'm assuming you sold all of those.
I got rid of all of them.
We're mainly silos.
Yeah, I actually traded them. You probably know Jimmy Riley.
Yeah.
I traded.
Yeah, he started with a podcast with us.
Yeah, I traded all them decoys for. He had 3 Remington 1100s. Traded.
That's a
for
good deal.
That is a good deal.
Hey, Jimmy, you said you never get rid of guns. Jeff just called you out right here, right now.
Nah, but the snow geese are hard.
We go
Like-
down to, we won't hunt them around here.
That was it's very humbling because that one day we went out. What did we see? Like
It was probably
30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you just
none
not
of
a
them
single
wanted
one.
to
Wait,
decoys.
None.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
the first time we hunted in Delaware was last year. We went down with our buddies Henlope and Riley, and he was like, "Dude, there's birds everywhere. I just don't know if they'll land with us." I said, "Okay." So we hunted. We didn't hunt a big field. It was like a 20-acre field, 15-acre field. We set like 700 decoys, I think. And I mean, and when I say miles of birds, I truly mean miles of constant.
It was
birds.
hours. It was hours just watching lines of them go through.
And they landed like 2 miles from
And we
us.
saw them on the way out. After we packed everything up, we went like 2 blocks down the road, and they were all there. There was a backpack there. There was a bunch of bands there. There was a bunch of blue geese there.
Man.
I mean, no, it wasn't a backpack. It was a net collar.
I thought we saw a backpack too. Oh.
No, it's rare they transmit snow geese.
I've only shot one in my life. It was at my uncle's.
What, a snow goose?
Yeah. We set up in like this. He owns a nursery. It was like this beat up field that he took all his bushes out and everything. And we sat up there, and there was just piles of them on top of us and everything like that. And luckily, this one came low enough where it was going to land, and we shot all like 6 of us. We unloaded on that thing. And it was just soaring down. Dog went and go grabbed it, and that was the first snow goose that we
You have
ever
your own
shot.
hunt dog?
Not my own, no.
Okay.
I'm trying to train my grandmom's dog.
Okay.
Okay.
What kind of dog?
Chocolate Lab.
Best dogs ever.
Yeah.
How old? He, she?
It's a she. She's like 3 years old.
Okay.
It's really late to start with her.
I mean, does she have any kind of instinct to her?
Yeah. I took her
So
out
it's
to
still
the water the other day. She was like,
Huh.
she's done it all her life.
And if you ever
Her-
want to train, hit me up. We'll take Goose out and your dog out.
Okay.
I got no problem with that. But so I'm sorry. You said you run mainly full bodies, silhouettes.
Silhouettes. I just can't justify the money for full bodies, but I know having full bodies would make a world's
Got a
difference.
whole trailer full of them, and I can't justify buying them either. And if
No.
Aaron hears this, she'll agree.
Every week I'd come over to his house and there'd be another box on the floor.
Those were snow geese.
Yeah.
Rogers has a hell of a sale on snow goose
Yeah.
decoys. 120 for a half dozen. Final approaches.
Hmm.
Yeah, Final Approach, sponsor me, please. I spent a lot of money with you guys.
For your Canadians, do you use full bodies?
Absolutely.
Do you use big feet?
Yes. I have.
We're moving away from big feet though.
Starting to. Most of my spread is big feet. We are sponsored by Top Down Decoys,
Mm.
the best silhouette in the game, also the cheapest silhouette in the game. So I run 3 dozen top downs mixed in with, I think I have 7.5 or 8 dozen. I have roughly 90 full bodies.
Mm.
I run now. September I will not run all of them,
No?
depending on the field I hunt. Like if we're hunting 100 to 200 bird feed, I will absolutely, because I want those birds in there fast. Because I don't. Have you hunt a lot of residential geese?
Yeah.
They come in fast.
Yep.
I mean, it's all at once.
Yep.
So I want to kill these birds fast, quick, get their attention.
I want
But,
my first piece of jewelry this year. I still don't have one yet.
He was so mad last year. So the intro to the podcast is us shooting in one of those situations where there's a lot of it's residential, so a lot of banded
Flying,
birds,
like, straight
Yeah.
across.
and 3 of them came in, and we all shot. And now I'm very very. If there's like 6 or 7 of us, and there's 10 or less geese,
Yeah.
I tend to not shoot a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick my birds out.
Yep.
So I heard bow, 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 and one bird, bow, and I know Ryan was going for the same one. And in the intro, you can hear, tick, tick, fuck, and then another shot, and sure enough, it was a banded bird.
Man.
So the issue behind that was I started with a semi
Yeah.
and I moved to a pump because
It's hilarious.
it was my semi's destroyed now from like the conditions of waterfowl hunting. It's a blue barrel.
From
It's a blue barreled one, so I wanted something that could kind of stand up to it. It's
we got him.
vinyl
We got him a nice pump for his birthday.
What'd you get?
He's got a Stoker
P3500, and I'm not used to pumping, so I'm not like slamming back far where I forget and I just keep hitting
Yeah.
the trigger. or
Gotta
something
shoot
like
3.5s.
that. Yeah. And it wouldn't go out. They always get jammed up in there at the
Yeah.
worst times.
And now when he shoots a semi, he tries to pump it.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Mhm.
But yeah, like my biggest goose, my favorite 2 days of the year is Thanksgiving and Black Friday for goose hunting.
Yeah.
It's especially here, migration's going to start pushing mid-November,
Mm.
so a lot of birds are down here,
Yeah.
and it's just chaos those 2 days.
Mm.
And I will set every decoy I have.
Hmm.
But yeah, I run a lot of Bigfoots. I think I have four or 5 dozen Bigfoots, a dozen Tangle Frees. I got off Marketplace.
The Tangle Frees are my favorite.
Says you bought them.
No, I mean just because I don't like carrying around the feet.
And from now on, I'm only buying Final Approach, the HD Live full bodies. They're cheaper than most,
Mm-hmm.
but probably my favorite on the market. Yeah, I love them. Rogers got a sale on. I think they were 110 a 4-pack.
That's not bad at
No,
all. Now, do you guys hunt more private land, I'm assuming?
no,
No,
really?
surprise.
Mostly
I have
state, yeah.
two. Well, we have 2 private spots. One's a shared private, about 500-ish acres of farm fields,
Mhm.
and then the other one is my uncle's,
Hmm.
right there on
Yeah.
Palatine. I love that spot. I love killing geese out of a hayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't. It's not that they don't want to be there, but
Mhm.
that's not their first, second, or third pick. So if you're calling them into a hayfield, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
And like we talked before, I love goose calling.
Mm-hmm.
Goose calling and now turkey calling.
It's an expensive hobby, dude.
Yeah.
It really is.
I just explained it today to the guys at work. I took my goose call. I've been taking my goose call in and blowing it on the way in, way home. And I took it into the tower today while I was running the asphalt plant.
It's fun fucking with residential geese right now. Like they start to land and you call at them, and they all like pop up and like looking around and shit.
But way to interrupt. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But no, they asked, like, what's the difference? As he said, well, why don't you have a duck call? I said, well, I mean, I know how to blow a duck call, but like, they're like, well, what's the difference? Like, duck calling's kind of like, hey, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Or goose calling's like, yo, why don't you come over here?
Mm-hmm.
But
Goose riz.
yeah, you gotta riz them up.
So, I'm gonna totally ADHD the topic real quick, but we forgot to ask. Is that 130 pointer, that's the biggest deer you ever got?
Yeah, yeah, that is my biggest deer.
Did you get it mounted?
Yeah, it's at Ribs right now.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, he does amazing work.
He is hands down my favorite deer taxidermist ever.
And he's not that expensive.
No, he's really not. Even if you want to add like a pedestal or anything, it's
Yeah,
really
the pedestal's
not
like $50,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about getting him pedestal mounted, but I live in an old farmhouse, and all my floors go like this or this.
So, you just, you got the pedestal means the whole thing, right? Or,
It's on a pedestal.
okay.
Yeah, so you typically like a pedestal mount will be like, you see how Brian's is just like the front half.
Mhm.
It'll be more of like the midsection,
Okay.
and it'll be sitting.
It'll be almost a full shoulder.
yeah, full shoulder, and it'll be sitting like it's almost like a barrel, like pedestal mount.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know much about all the different kinds of mounts and stuff yet. I got to get something worth doing that too first.
Yeah.
But what other deer did you end up getting mounted?
I shot a 7-pointer behind my house, and that wasn't it's like same size as yours. Like it wasn't anything huge. It was just my first like real nice deer.
That was my first buck ever.
Yeah, I remember I shot that. That was a nice deer. That's a good first deer.
Yeah, and I was so mad. If you look on the right side, he broke it a tip of that time.
Yeah.
Both times, his crab. I was so mad.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was just curious about that. I told you the ADHD brain goes all over the place.
Yeah, with that deer too, that 7-pointer, I was kind of pissed when I got the mount back because that was the biggest bodied Jersey deer I've ever killed.
How big was he?
I didn't weigh him, but he was probably close to 170.
That's a nice dressed 170 or
Yeah, if I had to guess, dressed. Because
That's-
I've killed a lot of deer that were in like the 150s, 160 range, and
Yeah.
he just I'll show you a picture. His rack's not huge, but his body is massive. It sucked dragging him out.
Yeah, we just talked to a guy, Garden State Outdoorsman, Matt, he's up in North Jersey. He said they see a bunch of them up there.
Mhm.
Big body, not huge racks, but just good sized deer.
Oh yeah.
Now, you butcher yourself?
I have butchered myself. I did it to the 2 deer I shot this year. I shot a half rack on a drive. Well, the Missouri deer I took to a butcher, but I shot a doe opening day. I did it myself. Because, I mean, I've never really done it. I've helped people cut up deer, but I just kind of want to do it just to say I did. But
It's easy and hard at the same time.
yeah, and if you don't have like a good butchering rig, like a heavy duty meat grinder, sausage maker, everything like that, it takes forever because you got to
Uh-huh.
trim every bit of sinew, every bit of cartilage off of that meat before you put it in the meat grinder.
Yeah.
Do you go, like when you're grinding, do you go 100% deer or do you add any pork fat to it? Or any fat at all?
Typically, I just do deer. Even when I take it to the butcher, I'll just do deer.
Yep.
But I made a couple packs this year. I did like bacon, like garlic, and a bunch of other spices. It was pretty good. But normally, I take my deer to John Raypatch there on Garden Road.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a great dude, and that's the only.
He's right there before 6 points, right?
Yeah,
Or 5 points.
that's the only butcher shop I would ever go because I would literally eat off the floor in there. It's the cleanest butcher shop I've ever been in, and he does a great job.
Does he open or do you have to call him before you bring one in?
He's open, but he's way more popular now. Like I've tried to take deer in December and like January, and he's like, "Dude, I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm full."
Yeah, we go. I take my deer to B&B down in Tuckerton. He's
I've never been there.
yeah, he does a really good job. Really good people too.
What's the biggest deer you got?
I've shot a 8-pointer behind my grandma. It's just
Nice.
I've had him on camera, and I've had another really nice one, and There was a 5-pointer that walked out before him. I was going to shoot that, but I texted my grandpa and I said, I think I'm going to shoot this deer and just forget about the other buck. And he said, just wait it out. That buck was funky. Just wait it out. He was smaller than the other one.
Yeah,
So I waited it out.
5-pointer. I'm impatient.
Yeah, I waited it out, and next thing you know, 5 minutes later, a doe comes in, and then here comes the buck.
Yeah.
I'm shaking.
It's
shaking
crazy,
shitless.
isn't it?
Yeah, and I shoot him, and this is like house to house to house to house, and there's just like a little block of woods right in the middle, and I shoot him. He runs right through this neighbor's yard and just dies right in the neighbor's yard, right in the middle. So I call my grandpa. I'm like, I just shot this buck. He's dead right in the neighbor's yard. We got to hurry up and grab him. I get out of the stand. I run over there as fast as I can, grab him, I yank him out, and
Nice.
best day of my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shaking's insane. I know we've talked about it a lot.
Ryan shot an 80-pound doe, and I thought he was going to fall out of his tree stand when he called me.
It's just weird how it hits you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to explain.
You can't stop it either.
Yeah.
Did it hit you before the shot or after the shot?
Before
Before.
on the way up, I was pulling up to shoot it, and I was shaking so much I hit the bow on the bar that goes across to stop you from falling out or whatever, and it looked up, and then I'm like in a really uncomfortable position waiting, and I'm coming up. It was like, it felt like 15 minutes, like I'm pulling up, and every time I looked up you had to stop again.
It was so funny with that too, because he had just got his boat, not just got his boat license. He had hunted a couple times on your own prior to that,
Twice.
and we didn't see it. Well, he missed one. That was my fault. I ranged it. I thought I ranged it at 30.
We
It
were
was
like
at
mid
40.
walking too.
Yeah, we were walking up to a spot, and they walked in front of us through the trailhead, and I said, "Yeah, that's like 30 yards." And that's 40.
Yeah.
It skipped underneath the
I
deer.
went, it was like that far under the deer.
But I told him, I said, I have this spot. I had these 3 does religiously coming in. I've
Yeah.
had the same 3 does on camera for like 3 years.
Mhm.
I know who they are. I should have named them. And he was like, no, I don't want to do that. That's like cheating, all this and that. And finally, I convinced him one day. I was like, you want to shoot a deer? We're going to go. I'm going to sit you in the stand. Well, no. Didn't we do it beforehand, too? I took you there on an afternoon hunt that
Yeah,
night.
we had a ground blind, but we were walking to try to find them because they weren't coming to where we baited with.
Oh, no, not that spot.
Uh,
No, the spot you shot your deer. Didn't I have you sit an afternoon there?
no, it was morning.
Okay. So it was one time. He's like, man, like, it's cheating, this and that. Like, it's not really hunting. You know these deer. You know they're coming in. It completely flipped as soon as he pulled the trigger.
It's
As soon as he saw one.
So, speaking of naming, you guys have any targets this year?
I don't have any
Deer?
cameras out.
Yeah.
I've seen you posted a bunch of pictures of bucks in velvet.
Yeah, I got a handful of deer that I probably would shoot, but this year I haven't seen anything like giant.
Mind
Yeah.
pop.
Yeah.
You don't have any named ones that you're like, oh man, I really gotta get
I don't name deer.
Good.
No.
Thankful for that.
I do not name deer.
I thought that was like a big thing for people to do. They get their
TV.
$1 a year. Really.
TV, YouTube, and douchebags on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just shot Billy. Like, oh, congratulations, dude. Like,
I just shot Hammer the third.
yeah.
So do you guys have any plans of doing any kind of video stuff, YouTube, anything like that in the future?
Yeah, I have a camera set up. I sold you that
Yeah,
one
the fourth
camera.
arrow.
Yeah. I have a camera set up. I want to get a new video camera, just something to play around with.
I
But
got you.
right now I'm using a Canon Rebel 7, which is more like photography camera, which kind of sucks. But
Not
That's kind
necessarily.
for I've tried hunting with it, and I just can't get the focus and the zoom right in the video.
So you're looking for something more like a camcorder.
yeah, camcorder,
Yep.
more autofocus, everything like that.
Fair enough. I agree 100%. But no, that's cool.
The new GoPros are even worse.
They
Yes.
I get they're expensive, but he's got the hat where it just clips like a
Mhm.
normal regular old hat, and it
Yeah,
clips
that's
on
like
the front.
30, $40 on Amazon. It's got the rig on it and everything. It's
Yeah, I have like looks like a
Headband.
The strap?
Yeah, the headband.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's better than the headband. The other thing is, like, I wish you could turn the sound off, but we noticed jumping. I had a couple 5s from way back that we started using. The 10s are like almost indistinguishable from those. Like,
Oh yeah.
for
I,
like quick situations.
yeah, I just bought an 11. I bought 2 by accident. I bought 211s last year.
Sure,
And,
accident.
yeah, but I couldn't believe the video quality on them.
Yeah,
It was insane.
seriously.
And the stabilization's
Oh
nuts.
yeah,
Like, I couldn't believe that either.
because I remember watching like people take videos on like the Tacticams and like the old GoPros, and whenever they shoot, like the camera just goes everywhere.
Uh-huh.
But with the new one, it's insane.
Yep, I had a Tacticam 5.0 when I first started really goose hunting and shooting. I was like, man, I want to kind of video this stuff, and it sucked. Like, it was fine for like pulling up. As soon as you shot, you couldn't see anything. It
Really?
was just a blur, and then it would focus on a dead bird. It's like, well, at least I got that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem I have with them is if it's warmer than like 30 degrees, the camera overheats so quick.
Really?
Yeah. If it's on for a while, like I've worn them, like when we were doing deer drives, and within 30 minutes I get a notification saying it's
Are
overheating.
you running 4K?
Yeah.
That's why.
4K, 60 FPS.
Go to
Yeah.
the 2700 one. It'll
Not much difference in like quality.
No.
No, even 1080. Even if you run these new ones on 1080,
Really?
they still
It's
come
still,
out pretty
it's
good.
still crisp, and you really don't need more than 1080. If you wanted to run 4K, that's more for like editing. If you wanted to zoom in on something, it'll
Right.
still be clear.
I
If you're not
gotcha.
planning on doing that, run 1080. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah, that's probably the coolest thing we've gotten into is starting a video and edit and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I mean, it's still a lot of iPhone footage because we're lazy and don't bring the camera.
Yeah.
The drone is the coolest thing we've gotten so
I've
far.
seen your
It is
drone. That
sick.
thing looks awesome.
Yeah.
How much was that, if you don't mind me asking?
1400
Okay.
combined
That's-
with
that's
insurance.
Get the one
Alright.
with the screen on the remote though.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
I believe it.
It's worth it.
And then how does that do in the wind?
Good
Does it?
for the most part.
The drone itself is fine in the wind up to like 15 miles. They say anything over like 15 mile an hour, don't fly it
Mm-hmm.
because you'll burn the motors up. But anything over like a 5 mile an hour wind will drain the batteries pretty quick.
Really?
Yeah.
But
you-
it stays stable. Like,
Yeah,
you can
I
get
gotcha.
some good shots. You're just not going to get 45 minutes out
Huh.
of the thing.
Yeah, I've been meaning to take it out, but I think this weekend if I take the boat out, it's got an option where you can like kind of focus on something,
Mhm.
and then it'll automatically follow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
because I'm not a good distracted driver. I'd probably run my boat in the reeds if I was trying to drive a tiller handle and look at my remote. Oh shoot! So what are you doing to prep early season? Do you bait? Are you looking
Yeah,
out of trail cams or?
what I'll do is I do a lot of my scouting during the season, doing drives, like bow hunting, because I hate summer. I hate the heat. I hate the
You and me
bugs.
both.
Dude, it sucks. So I'll have at least 10 spots I'll pick out, and I'll focus really hard on those spots. I won't dump like 30 bags of corn. I'll just dump a bag of corn, or like what B&J or Big and J,
Yeah.
I mean, and just throw a camera. Just get kind of intel. Like we go.
What's in the area?
Yeah, we go. How often we go looking for deer? A couple times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go scouting all the time. I mean,
Now, I don't mind me to interrupt.
No.
When you're scouting, driving around, are you looking specifically on these properties you hunt, or are you looking at the complete area?
complete area, because
Okay.
I know, like,
I know deer move, but
yeah, especially like areas around like public land I'm hunting, because I know they won't be there now, but come the rut, I know they will. So if I'm seeing I was seeing a deer, 140-inch 9-pointer last year, and he was probably a mile from my trail camera, but I got pictures of him like 2 weeks later.
just
So-
cruising the area.
Cruising there in summer. But that was the last time I ever saw him. But it just goes to show, like, they can move at any time they
Oh,
want.
they'll move 5-10 miles a morning a
And-
day.
yep.
It's crazy. So where I shot a buck, where Ron shot his first deer, it is a bed area, and I mean they bed 50 yards from where my stand and bait pile is, and my buddy hunts down the railroad tracks about 3 miles. He was asking me about deer hunting. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this buck and this buck, and I sent him a couple pictures. And he was like, where is that? And I told him, and he goes, I hunt. He goes, do you hunt on the railroad tracks? I said, how'd you know? He goes, and he sent me pictures back. He goes, I have those 3 deer on camera like every other day.
That's crazy.
And then, so I think that year I had a total of, because it was a bed, and I mean, railroad tracks and deer are going to run that for miles. I think that year I had 19 bucks total on camera between August and December.
Yeah.
We shared 14 of those bucks. Like
That's
13
insane.
or 14 of the exact bucks.
It's funny.
The buck, the first and last buck I shot out of that spot, he had on camera that morning.
That's nuts. and me and him were hunting this 10-pointer. And the morning he shot his 10-pointer, it was in my stand, which was almost a mile away. And he was telling me they tracked that deer all night long. It ran in total over like 5 miles.
Really?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 miles. I've hunted a couple of spots like early season that are close enough to private where, you know, if a deer gets pressure from the private, you know, people looking at him through a car, hunters, like, they're going to come on the state if there's no pressure coming from there. So, I mean, it's all, everything about deer hunting is trial and error. Like, and you just got it. If it doesn't work, try something different. But, like, a lot of methods I use, like mock scrapes, everything like that, like deer behind my house won't touch a mock scrape. But, you know, I could go a mile down the road and then I'll have deer turn it into a giant hole in the ground.
Really?
Yeah. Every herd is different.
I was going to say, do you think it's just the pressure of other bucks in the area? I mean, I know deer can't tell the difference between private and public as far as boundaries. But do you think with those solicited pockets of deer herds on private where guys may be managing and taking out some small, where there's not as many bucks in the area or running the area, that they just don't get as heated up if they see a scrape versus public where deer are running everywhere? And
it very could be. Like, I'm no deer biologist by any means, but
I got you.
But it could be pressure. It could just be they just don't like the smell of whatever you're using.
They're using buck bombs.
Yeah, not a fan. I've used probably every scent under the sun, and I think they pique the deer's interest sometimes. But it's rare I've had deer like nose down coming
It's
into
not the
like
crack that they say it is.
Yeah, it's all a crock of
Horse shit.
Yeah, horse shit. Now, like when I went out to Missouri, the buck I actually shot. My girlfriend just got me this Tinks because she didn't know what I liked. She just got me this. I just sprayed it all over the tree I was in. I was up in a climber, and that deer came in. He was sniffing the tree for like 5 minutes. I passed him the couple days before, but like I said, every deer's different.
Yeah, it's wild. So, Gabe, we haven't, you're all smiles over there. Early season waterfowl.
Okay.
Do you do a lot of preseason scouting? Are you running? You just said you got a boat.
Yeah.
You plan on running it a bunch before
Yeah.
October hits?
I do, yeah.
Okay. What are you looking for when you're? I mean, are you looking specifically for birds?
Sometimes, yeah, and I'm just basically looking where like birds will go, and where I can set up at. Where would be a good try to get to an X.
I got you. Now, during season, what's your spread look like for ducks?
It's basically like group here, and leave a little hole somewhere where you can land. Sometimes I'll put them in, not in a line. They say it's not good for a line, except you're sea duck hunting.
Yeah.
And I'll just like clutter them everywhere, stuff like that.
Are you using a lot of different species? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Black duck, mallard, teal, stuff.
Are you a minimalist, or are you using as many decoys as you own?
I don't buy that many decoys. I buy whatever I want to use or whatever I want to use.
Depends where we're hunting too.
Well, yeah. Yep. I got
Sometimes less is more. I get that.
you. Yeah, I don't set a big duck spread anymore.
No.
It sucks cleaning up.
Yes, it does.
Especially if you're somewhere with a current.
Or you didn't shoot anything.
Yeah, that too.
Or it's freezing cold. Then I hate my hands after that.
Decoy gloves.
Yeah?
Get
They're
'em.
like $25
Get 'em.
on Rogers.
Oh my god, it's a game changer.
They come up to here,
Yeah.
cinch them. They're waterproof, warm.
You're gonna love sea duck hunting too. You set up a blind on the bank where you can.
We go down. I set up on the edge of the bay. I use a panel
It's
blind.
solid ground, dude.
That's something I wanted to ask too, as far because I've never done any coastal hunting. Like, could you just set up on the edge of a beach somewhere and
It's not really a beach.
not
it's-
necessarily
gotta-
a beach, but
So I'm not saying there's not scouting involved with sea duck hunting, but sea ducks are what I call historical bird. If there was birds there last year, probably going to be birds again this year.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're just driving around scouting and you say, hey, there's these birds hanging around 40 yards off if you're comfortable shooting 40 yards, there's these birds hanging 40 yards off the beach. Go hunt it. Set up, lay out blinds on the beach, lay out blinds in the marsh, set your decoys, hunt them that way.
But I think the biggest difference is you hunt the marsh out here, right?
yeah.
You know how you sink up to your knee or farther in mud.
Yeah, solid ground. It's
Out there,
beautiful.
it's like a grass hill. Like you're
Really?
not sinking at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it makes setting up like a panel blind right on the bank or something like that. It's like it's a cakewalk, especially, and you'll get buffies. You're guaranteed to get buffies at least. So like, you at least get to do something for doing all
As
that.
I've said 100 times before, I don't care how many people call them trash ducks or shit ducks, whatever you want to call them. I love shooting buffalo.
They're at least fun.
They're a beautiful bird. You shoot one that's fully plumed out, like
Yeah.
come on, purple and green head,
I have-
pure white. Yeah.
Especially when you're still setting up the decoys and you're right there in a big gray boat and they're just landing next
Yeah,
to
my
you.
brother's
Like,
got a
it's
19-foot
ridiculous.
boat. We sit in the deep V.
Yeah.
Big boat. We sit
They're
in it
so
like
dumb.
20 yards from the
They're
decoys.
so
That's
dumb.
awesome.
They're
Mob
landing
them
while
up.
we're still throwing them out. Yeah.
No, hunting coastal is a whole different breed.
Yeah.
It's
I think it's more fun.
I mean, it all depends on what you want to do. You
Mhm.
know, if you think shooting mallards in the marsh is fun,
Mhm.
nothing, you know, if that's what gets you going, that's what gets you going. I like shooting these coastal birds, bluebills, buffleheads. You get your black ducks, you get your Canadas. Love shooting brant. I shot one. I actually shot it at Elmer Lake.
Really?
Yeah, that was wild. My buddy from New York was with me.
You shot a brant?
Yeah.
At Elmer Lake?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it landed in the decoys. I was like, what the hell is that? And my buddy goes, I think that's a goose. And I shot it. It was one of the only times I can honestly say, like, I didn't 100% identify a bird while it was sitting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard in the air sometimes. But,
Right.
we shot it, and I brought it back. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he goes,
Mhm.
dude, that's a brant. I'm like, we're like 50 miles inland right now.
Yeah.
He got lost.
But no, brant hunting's super fun. Riley, I mean, he's got the logo, the brant logo. But
Mm.
That's his thing. He's starting an outfitting company for just specifically for brant.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, he's in Delaware, right? Henlopen?
he hunts out of Delaware,
Mhm.
but he lives in Maryland.
Okay. Now, the limit in New Jersey is 1 for brant,
One
right?
for 30 days, and the same in Delaware. 1 for 30 days.
Huh.
Well, 1 per person per day.
Right.
For 30-day season.
They follow pretty close historically the limits for us for Delaware.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I hope we see an uptick here in the next couple of years.
Now, question for you guys. So, like, for years, we never had boats. So, we were always trouncing on through the mud, through the marsh, like
Walking
kayaking.
spots. That sucks.
Now,
Yeah.
as far
Sucks
as like
really bad.
late season pressured birds, for a guy who's limited in hunting property, like has no private access, hunts mostly state land, you know, has a kayak so he can't go out, like in strong currents and stuff. You see all these birds grouped up on high pressured pieces. What's your plan of attack?
We're gonna find the birds.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not very picky on what I shoot as far as ducks.
Yeah, neither way.
If the birds out in the marsh are so pressured they're staying out, or they're just skipping over, or there's very few of them, and we have a bunch of wood ducks on a farm pond, we'll go hunt the farm pond.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would be my only advice: is just find the birds.
Now you're talking about On X and Huntstand. As a waterfowler standpoint, how do you, in the past couple of years, it's become very popular. So, how has that affected duck hunting for you?
There's no secrets anymore.
Same
There's
thing
no
for deer
hunting
hunting.
holes. There's no your grandpop's favorite duck hole. Well, I mean, I didn't really have that, but
Yeah.
you know the stories. Like, that spot your dad killed that 170-inch whitetail in '96 that nobody ever fucking knew about. 30 people know about it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Duck hunting, there isn't an inch of marsh.
That has been hunted.
Well, I mean, there
Well,
is. There very, very much is, but you gotta. I don't want to say you gotta want it more, but you do have to try a little harder to find those spots. I mean,
Right.
they're still out there. There's still plenty of places where guys won't go. They might be too lazy hunting out of a boat, doing all this, but if you're willing to park your boat, go find these spots, go find these ditches, there's definitely out there. And I could see how it would. I'm not putting them down. They're one of the biggest hunting brands there is right now. But
I think I know what you're going to
the
say.
hunting public,
Yep.
I have nothing against them. Nothing at all. But there is, I mean,
I completely agree with you.
it's actually, we just talked about this last episode. Or I don't even know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I know we talked about it. You have guys that have hunted private land for years.
Mhm.
I mean, probably their whole hunting lives. They see these guys. I mean, they see these guys Not just the hunting public either. It's not just them. YouTubers, Instagram guys, all of that are, putting the time in, their due diligence, and shooting these massive state land deer.
Oh yeah.
And they look at that and go, I need to do that. But they're not at that caliber of
And the thing with that is too, like you said, the hunting public is great for like the new hunter. Like it's a great introduction to get them into hunting. But you get all these. I can't go on a piece of state land now without seeing
2-3 trucks,
2-3 trucks, tacticams, saddles, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you're not hunting Midwest deer. You're hunting New Jersey deer.
Yeah.
So you got all these guys going as deep as they possibly can, hanging as many stands as they can as possible. Like a lot of spots I hunt, I'm hunting people. I'm not hunting deer. I'm hunting the pressure from people.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, even out west, you hear guys talk about they kill the biggest deer of their lives 10 feet, probably 100 yards from the truck.
It is different out there though.
Yeah. Well, I haven't. We'll get into that here in a minute.
Yeah, I feel like I'm hogging the mic, Gabe. I'm sorry.
I mean, you guys are just talking, so I'm listening.
Do you use Huntstand On X anything?
I use On X.
Do you?
Yeah, I've used that for a while now.
How do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, as much as like I said, there's no secrets anymore, but it
Yeah.
has changed the game.
Yeah.
I work 40 to 50 or 45 to 55 hours a week. It's hard to scout.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I like goose hunting. Drive by, you're like, hey, geese are in that field. Probably going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
So with goose hunting, especially early season, do you have some private spots, or are you once again hunting a lot of state land?
Just basically state land.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said now, do you take the charge not just in calling, but as far as the hunt goes?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yep.
Look at you getting shown up by a 17-year-old, Jeff.
That's his thing, man.
I buy the decoys.
Huh?
I buy the
Yeah, he
decoys.
buys like
Brian,
the
you gotta
decoys and
start
stuff.
buying the decoys.
I call him in. I'll tell him when to shoot him. I set up like the layouts, how I want it, and stuff like that.
Do you hunt a lot of layout blinds? Or you,
Yeah. We just got into it last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been our biggest thing because me and him bought layout blinds and knuckleheads we hunt with. They're like, oh, we'll just
build
make a
something
blind in the middle of
yeah.
this bean field. They're sitting on 5-gallon buckets. It's like, all right, dude. Wonder why the birds flared.
You dumb
Yeah.
hunting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I'm excited to try these ghillie blinds.
We bought the dive bomb kickback chairs with the ghillie blankets.
I
Yeah.
have heard
They're
nothing but good
so
things
nice,
about them.
man. They're the only ones I've ever seen with armrests.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like A-frames. I have an A-frame. I have a panel blind.
Mm.
It's just early season geese when you're hunting stubble fields, hay fields,
Yeah.
bean fields. They just stick out. I mean, it's bad.
Mm.
You guys hunt a lot of open fields?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
you ever hedgerow hunt?
I've
Snow goose
tried
hunting.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did that work out?
That's where I shot my first snow goose.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Surprised they got that close.
Oh shoot! Oh, hunting out west. You said you've elk hunted out there. How was that?
That was unreal experience. My uncle goes out to Colorado elk and mule deer hunting every year. But I went when I was 16. So I stole my youth tag. So they were like dirt cheap. Like elk tag is
Over the counter elk tag.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the tags ended up being like $100 a piece for elk and mule deer. But
Nice.
now it's like I want to say 400 for the mule deer and 600 for the elk.
Good night. Just for the tag.
Yep. But have you ever seen elk before, like in person?
I can't. I mean, I've seen a mount, but I can't. I've never seen an elk in person.
I've seen a lot of animals like big deer, bears. That is the most like surreal experience when you see a elk for the first time. You don't understand how truly big they are. And then especially when you're hunting, you can't even believe it.
They'll
Like your
mess you up.
adrenaline is going so high.
Yeah.
Sorry, what you say?
I said they'll mess you up. I see all the.
That's
elk
that's just the idiots that try to put their babies on the back of an elk. At
Yeah, and
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, when you went out there, are you spot stalking or spot and stalking? Are you calling them in close? How'd you guys do it?
So when we went, it was before the rut for elk. So I mean, you'd guys calling, but it's not really. I mean, it's like calling deer. You're not.
They're not all heated up or
Yeah.
not all worked up at the moment.
But you'll hear bugles and stuff. But you're doing a lot of glassing. Like the first couple of days, you're sitting on it, climbing to the top of the mountain, glass and glass and glass until you find a herd, or you just pick a trail and walk. And that's how like a lot of the locals end up killing deer and elk, because they might just be feeding off the road and they'll road hunt. They'll just park their truck, walk the road for a couple miles, and then they shoot a lot of bucks off the road. Just nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
I'd
I
like
mean,
to
I've
get
definitely
on
heard
those.
about that before. I mean, I do watch a lot of the meat eater stuff,
Yeah.
and that's something I would definitely like. I would love to shoot an elk, but if I were to go out on one hunt, I would want to shoot a Wyoming mule deer.
Yeah.
That would be my target.
And that's the problem with like hunting out west, like big game. Like Wyoming, I know a lot of zones you're gonna have to wait years and
Oh, it's all
years
point
and
system.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for like Iowa, I put in points to hunt whitetails. I bought 3 points this year, and I didn't pull a tag.
Really. So, do you plan on hunting out of state every year, or at least hoping to hunt out of state every year?
Oh yeah. My goal. I want to do my whitetail slam. So every subspecies of whitetail I want to do. But right now I'm just kind of like last year's the first time I hunted whitetails out of state. But I definitely want to go down south. I might try to do that during the wintertime when the rut down there is heating up, like Louisiana or Mississippi. And I'm thinking November we're going to Ohio.
Nice.
So
Very
that's
nice.
Shawnee National Forest.
Very nice.
So
Yeah, that's big deer country.
yeah.
That for some odd reason, that whole region, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, just massive deer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iowa is the place to be. Their management for deer, you can kill 2 deer a year, statewide, buck and doe.
Really?
Yeah, or rifle and bow, if I'm not mistaken. I know you can only shoot 2 deer a year.
Yeah. And do you ever talk now when you go out there? Are people ever surprised hearing about the deer laws in Jersey?
Yes. So my buddy at work he used to be an outfitter out in Missouri, and that's where I killed my deer. He's got like his own farm out there.
Oh, cool.
And like talking to the guys out there and everything, it's like I don't understand how you guys can kill so many deer.
It's nuts.
But the deer are unreal. So like, he put me up in a stand, opening first morning, and I'm like 15 feet off the ground. I'm like, dude, I'm in the middle of a tree, no cover. I'm so exposed right now. Like every deer is gonna see me, and just mature doe after mature doe, just walking right underneath me. They look up at you and just act like you don't know, like you're not
They've
even
probably
there.
seen somebody in that stand 100 times.
Yeah, but they just say it's different. Like New Jersey, like all my stands, if they're not 25 feet plus up, they're surrounded with cover with limited shot opportunities.
I mean, you definitely hear about more, especially like New Jersey deer, Eastern PA deer. They look up.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching the trees now, which is wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
So before we wrap it up, we still got a little bit. But did you have anything before we start wrapping it up?
No. We're what, an hour or so?
A little over an hour.
Yeah. I do have work tomorrow.
You'll be fine. Don't be a bitch. We'll start with Gabe. What are you can do whatever you want. You can go deer hunting, waterfowl hunting. Do you have any major goals milestones, goals you want to hit this year?
I want to shoot more bands this year for waterfowl. Yeah.
Knew you were. You have any?
I don't have any like ducks. I have 1 goose.
Resident Goose Band?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Or is that Chenzo? At the
I don't know.
cow pasture.
All my goose bands are like 15, 20 miles from where I shot them.
Wait, maybe it was. Yeah. It was
one at the cow
resident
pasture,
goose,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, more bands, anything else?
Just see more quality of birds, like different kind of species and stuff like that.
What's one species you really want to see yourself shoot this year?
Man, I don't know.
What? You don't have a hit list bird?
Nah, not really.
still
Haven't really
working
thought
on
about it yet.
Fair enough.
I've always wanted to shoot like a plumed out widgeon.
Jimmy shot one last year.
Really?
Beautiful bird.
Hmm.
How about you, Jeff? What are your, like I said, you can go deer hunting and duck hunting, waterfowl, deer hunting. Any major goals, milestones you want to see yourself hit?
Yeah, I definitely want to get more in the duck hunting because I just got a boat and
So did both of you just get a boat?
yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of boat you get?
Well, I've had a 14-foot Grumman bass boat sit in my yard for almost 10 years, and I finally like gutted it apart and then bought a new Yamaha for it.
Nice.
So, but I just want to take duck hunt a little more seriously, just kind of get the feel of it from like boating
Yeah.
like point of view versus like pond hopping and stuff. And deer hunting, I'd like to kill a mature deer in New Jersey, and I don't know, just hunt more.
So
Like-
what is your view of a mature deer in New Jersey? I've asked a couple guys this, and I've gotten a couple different answers.
I'd say over 4 years old.
Okay. Yeah, you're rated. I mean, I asked one. I think the first guy we asked was a deer that's 3 years or older. We've had 5, and then I think the highest was a guy that's 6 years old. So yeah, I would 100% agree that a 4-year-old deer is a very lucky deer in New Jersey, mature deer in New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's rare.
It's different than once again Iowa, where you're not shooting those 4-year-olds, you're shooting 6, 7-year-old deer.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything else you guys want to cover? Nothing. Gabe?
Nah, I'm good.
Just all smiles over there.
Yep.
All right. Well, look, we really appreciated having you guys on.
Yeah.
We're
We're gonna shout out your stuff.
yeah. I mean, we're gonna link it in the bio of the podcast. Shout you out on the Instagram. How do they find you?
Yeah, so you can find us at Gator Boyz NJ on Instagram. We're on TikTok too. Gator Boyz NJ, I'm pretty sure. Got to upload to that too.
Yeah.
But probably make a Facebook page. If anyone likes deer driving, hit us up. We could always use more people.
Nice.
Like I said, well, if you guys would ever be interested, we'd love to have you back on.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank
Yep.
you.
See
Thank
ya.
you.